as we all know by this point, since it's been a few weeks, the Switch 2 has officially been announced. Yay, rejoice, wonderful news, right? We all knew it was coming. However, it is very, very nice to have it officially confirmed. All of the leaks that had kind of discussed what it looked like were pretty much all true, which I've already shared my opinions about that on the channel. However, again, it's just really nice to finally have the system confirmed, which now means we can really start to speculate about what kind of games we're going to see on the Switch 2, especially within the first year or two of it being out. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Hi everybody, my name's Alex, aka Quality, and welcome back to the channel. Now, the original Switch's library was so robust with a great mix of brand new releases, remakes, revivals of classic series, a bunch of stuff like that, and I have a feeling the Switch 2 is probably going to follow in its predecessor's footsteps in that way. However, it is kind of fun to speculate what we're gonna get over the next year or so of the console being out. Now, are my hopes and dreams based in any kind of fact or real-life suspicion? Absolutely not. These are all just coming out of my head, pulled out of my head as things that I want. I also won't be talking about games that we are pretty sure are going to be on the Switch 2, like Mario Kart 10 that was kind of teased in the announcement trailer, or dual releases that are probably going to happen. I have to assume Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a dual release between the original Switch and the Switch 2. Maybe also with Pokemon ZA, I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. Pokemon Days hasn't happened yet when I'm filming this, so we'll see what kind of Pokemon-related announcements we get within the next few weeks. But no, these are just games from a series that I would really like to see either a remake or a new installment of, or even a port from a game that's already out on different consoles to come to the Switch 2. So these are just my personal picks. And make sure to let me know in the comments what games you also want to see on the Switch 2 within the first year or two of its life cycle. I'd love to know. There's so many games out there, and everybody has different video game hopes and dreams, and I'd love to hear some of yours. But for the meantime, we're talking about me. Starting out, we have a really big one for me, and this is a game that I've been wanting on the Switch for a while since the last installment of this series came out. There have been rumors of remakes of various games in this series for the past few years. I don't even know. I've lost count. The days just have gone by, and we still have gotten no new Fire Emblem news. I need a Fire Emblem game, guys. It's been too long since Engage came out, and we already kind of know my feelings about Engaged. They're a little mixed, but like I'm ready for just any kind of Fire Emblem stuff. Do I have like 3DS entries and other Fire Emblem entries on other consoles that I still need to play? Yes! Yes, but the convenience of having it on the Switch 2 is what I am looking for. Now, whether this Fire Emblem game is a totally new game or one of the long foretold remakes like Fire Emblem 4, or people are really hoping for Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance to get kind of a dual release remake, I don't care. I just need something Fire Emblem related. I also feel like it's not unrealistic to think we might get a new Fire Emblem within the first year or two of the Switch 2 being released, especially because we don't know when the Switch 2 is actually coming out yet. So I could see maybe not a launch title necessarily, but still something within the first little bit of time that we could get. That's why I kind of think maybe more of a remake rather than a brand new game. They might wait to do a brand new game until later on in the life cycle, but really not sure. I need something, guys. Please, Nintendo, please. Another series I adore. If you've been on the channel for a while, you know this series is near and dear to my heart. Story of Seasons, formerly Harvest Moon. I would love a brand new game to come out within the first little bit of the Switch 2 being out. I have loved the remakes we've gotten on the Switch. I still haven't played Pioneers of Olive Town, though I know that game kind of was also a little bit mixed. I want a new Story of Seasons game, but one that harkens back to the magic of some previous entries. Namely, for me, Tree of Tranquility and Animal Parade. That's just like the vibe I feel like Story of Seasons kind of needs to go for a little bit. Those games were so wacky and so weird. Like, they had that kind of, at the time, polished wee look to them, where they seemed a little bit more mature, a little bit more, I don't know. They just had felt different than previous Harvest Moon entries at the time. That's the vibe I want for Story of Seasons on the Switch 2. Wacky characters, huge cast. Those games had huge casts of characters, and I loved it. Very big personalities and all of the different characters you can interact with. Having children, having so many different animals, that's kind of the vibe I want. And yeah, that exists in current, more recent Story of Seasons entries, but like, I don't know. I want to feel the nostalgia of Animal Parade and Tree of Tranquility with it being a new game. That's the vibe I want. With us getting a new Rune Factory game later this year for the Switch, I don't really know how likely it is we're going to get just a mainline Story of Seasons game within the first 2 years, but it's a hope I have 100%. Continuing on the train of new entries, I want a new Paper Mario game. We, as Mario RPG fans, have been eating well on the Switch for the past few years, and I'm grateful. I am so grateful. However, I think it's time for a brand new Paper Mario. I think the Thousand Year Door remake really kind of reignited people's love for the series after Origami King kind of failed to meet in certain ways. Don't get me wrong, I loved Origami King. I cried, I think. Can't remember if I cried. It was an emotional experience regardless, and I really didn't mind that game aside from the combat. However, I think that the Thousand Year Door remake kind of showed people like, this is what Paper Mario is, this is what we want. So I'm really hoping that our next entry, which again, I don't think it's too far-fetched that we could get a new Paper Mario game within the first 2 years of the life cycle, maybe closer to 2 perhaps, but I would love a brand new Paper Mario entry. I think it's time. The only other thing that I could think of, since we just got a brand new Mario and Luigi game, I still haven't played Brothership. I don't know if it's any good. Let me know your thoughts. Should I buy it? I probably still will regardless. But unless we're going to get a Mario RPG, like a sequel to Super Mario RPG, which that would, I think I'd die. I would be so excited. I think it's way more likely that we'll get a new Paper Mario before any of that, and hopefully sooner rather than later. Keeping with the Mario train, and this is definitely, yeah, we're gonna for sure get this at some point in time. I'm just hoping sooner rather than later, a new 3D Mario game. Now, the last true 3D Mario game that we got, excluding Bowser's Fury because that's kind of a side mode, was Mario Odyssey, which came out in 2017, the first year of the Switch being around. It was a holiday release, and I have a feeling that we might see a similar pattern like that, all depending on when the Switch 2 is officially released. Who knows? But I could see them going the holiday Mario route again. It's always a good idea. And I don't know, I don't even know what I'd want to see in a new 3D Mario game. I just really want it. Odyssey was so great in so many different ways. And even though I wouldn't say it's my favorite 3D Mario of all time, I'm still, I have that nostalgia bias towards Galaxy and Sunshine. It's just who I am. I think the scope of Odyssey was incredible. So I'd love to see where they can take that to next. You know, like, what could the gimmick be? Like, what's Mario gonna be doing this time? He's already traversed worlds, galaxies. Maybe we need all underwater Mario. Like, Mario just lives in the sea. That's kind of a really dumb idea, actually. But I don't know. I have no idea. But I would really like to have a new 3D Mario super duper soon. I don't think we'll get a 2D Mario quite right away unless they kind of turn the Super Mario Wonder into the new Super Mario Bros. Formula, which would make me kind of sad because Wonder was such a marvel. I don't want it to happen to that. But we're still so close to when Super Mario Wonder came out that I don't think we'll see a new 2D Mario for a little bit. I also didn't put any Zelda on this list either. We just got Echoes of Wisdom. We know that the next big mainline Zelda game, it's not coming out within the first 2 years, I don't think. If it did, that would be insanity. I don't think it's gonna happen, but maybe later on down the line. So I'm not even talking about Zelda because I have no idea. I have no idea. Now, a game that's already out, but I think would be a good fit for the Switch 2 and something that I think would make a lot of people happy, Persona 3 Reload. We finally got Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, and Persona 5 Royal on the Switch. I'm pointing to my Switch collection. It's over there because that's where all my copies of those are. But we finally got them, and it took forever to get it. Especially took forever to get Persona 5 Royal on the Switch. We have been getting all of the spin-offs, but it took forever to get those mainline games on there. I would love to see Persona 3 Reload come to the Switch too. A lot of people, myself included, were pretty disappointed when Reload didn't come to the Switch right away, but that kind of made a lot of people think we're probably getting it on Switch too. And that's the camp that I'm kind of sitting on. I think we will. I don't see why we wouldn't. It's obvious that there's a huge Persona fan base on the Switch, and even with those who might have already played it on PC or any other console, I still think Persona 3 Reload would be a great game to throw on the Switch. And keeping it with the Atlas theme for like 2 seconds, Metaphor ReFantazio, I want to play that game so bad. I've heard so many good things that I'm ready. I'm ready to jump into it. But I kind of want to hold out a little bit longer and see if we get it on the Switch too. I have no qualms with playing it on my good old PC over here, but at the same time, if I can sit on my couch and chill out and not have to buy a Steam Deck, yeah, I'll take it on the Switch too. I think that'd be awesome. But I just reiterate, there's a lot of Atlas fans on the Switch. It makes so much sense to have these games on the Switch too, that, I don't know, I'm just really, really hoping that that's what we ultimately get at some point in time. I do think Persona games will always come out on PlayStation first, just kind of thinking and looking at history. When Persona 6 comes out, I don't think we'll get that on the Switch 2 right away. I have a feeling it'll stay a PlayStation exclusive for a little bit, and maybe we'll get, like, the juiced up version later on. Who knows? I am unsure, but regardless, I would love to see Persona 3 Reload and Metaphor ReFantazio on the Switch too. And because they're already out, it would make sense for them to come out early in the Switch 2's life cycle, at least in my way of thinking. Now, a game that's already been announced and confirmed, but we know almost nothing about it, Dragon Quest XII. This is one that, kind of in the same way that I'm unsure if we'll get Persona 6 on the Switch 2 when it comes out, I kind of feel this way about Dragon Quest XII. We have a lot of Dragon Quest on the Switch already, and with Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition being such a success on the Switch, I think it's almost a little more likely that we might see Dragon Quest XII just come out on the Switch when it's ready. It probably wouldn't be a Switch exclusive, but maybe a dual release across consoles. I'm really not sure. I really have no idea, but I'm really excited for Dragon Quest XII. I haven't dove into as many Dragon Quest spin-offs as I own yet. I'm going to have to at some point in time. They're on the list to take care of, but I just haven't yet. But I'm really, really ready for another mainline Dragon Quest game. Oh, I also have the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake to play. Just haven't yet. Still playing Persona 4. It's taken a lot of time, but that's probably next. But having a new Dragon Quest game I think would be great, and seeing it on the Switch too would also be really, really nice. I do think we'll definitely see Dragon Quest XII on the Switch at some point, maybe another definitive edition or something like that. But I also think it'd be pretty cool to see it pretty early on in the Switch's life cycle as well. Who knows what might happen, but that's my hope. And the final game that I could just come up with for this list today, I want a new Tomodachi Life, and let me tell you why. People have been wanting a new Tomodachi Life ever since the Switch came out, and that love and devotion to this silly little game continues to this day. But here's why I think with the Switch 2, it's not too totally far-fetched. Now, I remember there being rumors about a new kind of social media for Switch 2 users, and I feel like maybe it won't necessarily be like Tomodachi Life as we know it, but something like very similar to Tomodachi Life. Like, kind of almost Miitomo-y, if anybody remembers Miitomo. I'm sure people do. I was obsessed with Miitomo. I thought it was ridiculous. But I feel like kind of taking that social media idea and putting like a Tomodachi Life twist on it, I don't know, I think that would be kind of cool. Even if it's not so intrinsically linked like that though, I feel like because it seems like the Switch 2 is going to be a bit more of a social gaming platform than the Switch was, I feel like a game like Tomodachi Life would still thrive on it too. Especially if there's going to be kind of juiced up social aspects of it. Plus, you can use the Joy-Cons as a mouse, and maybe that would be kind of an integral way of playing new Tomodachi Life and interacting with people. I don't know, I'm literally making this up now. Regardless, Tomodachi Life is a ridiculously fun little game. If you haven't played it on the 3DS, or I think there are some DS versions in the UK and Japan, I might be wrong on that, but I feel like that's correct. This game is ridiculous and it's so fun, and I feel like kind of taking it and putting a big social spin on it on the Switch too would be a really great way to revive the series and keep it fresh at the same time. The one downside about Tomodachi Life is the novelty does kind of wear off after a while, and then we'll come back at like 3 a.m. on random Wednesday nights. But I feel like if there were a real-time social aspect to it, kind of like how Miitomo was trying to be, then it could be kind of a cool thing on the Switch too. So I don't know, I would love to see a Tomodachi Life revival. But as of right now, those are some of the games that I would love to see within the first 2 years of the Switch's life cycle. Will all of these happen? Probably not, but I am a dreamer and I can dream and I believe that maybe we'll get like 1 or 2 of them. Again, if nothing else, I just want a new Fire Emblem game, please. Please. Though my Tomodachi Life idea is also pretty good. Just saying, just saying. But yeah, please let me know what games you would love to see on the Switch 2 in the first few years of its life cycle, especially. Again, I think we'll get a pretty nice library with the Switch 2, just like how we did for the Switch. That's my hope, at least. My Switch collection and library it's my favorite. It's my absolute favorite, and I can't wait to expand that with the Switch 2 coming out. But that's gonna do it all for me today, my dear and wonderful friends. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye! Boop.